Miss Combos with Laura Newseth.
Yahoo and welcome back to Miss Combos with Laura Newseth. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Kanade5 cards that just came out. But before we get actually into the card reactions, I want to maybe give a disclaimer. I will only be discussing the actual cards themselves. I have not read the story, so please do not put any type of spoilers in the comments, especially for people that maybe play EN or play JP and just haven't gotten around to reading the story. I saw so many spoilers without any indication of spoilers on social media, and you know what? It's getting to the point that it's becoming less and less fun to engage in this fandom because it seems like fans are just not respectful of other fans. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I would like to read the stories and experience things for myself instead of having someone else just post a video of the story's climax and yeah, just kind of spoiling the whole event. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Just please do not spoil in my comments. If I do say any type of spoilers, your comments will be deleted. The other thing that I wanted to just quickly bring up, because I've seen a lot of these complaints on social media, Mafuyu's presence. We already know Mafuyu plays a big integral role in Kanade's motivation to keep making music. This is not Mafuyu 6, this is not Mafuyu hogging Kanade's event. They both are crucial to each other's storylines. And we've seen this throughout other stories in Project Sekai. There are pairings where each of these characters will appear in each other's focus events. We saw it in Mizu 5, Enna had a huge role in that event, and then in Enna 5, Mizuki had a huge role in that event. We've seen it in An and Kohane events as well. So whenever we do have a pair that is integral to each other, you will see that pair in each other's like focus events. And that's just like pretty basic storytelling, if I'm being honest. There's always going to be a character or influence that will either help you with your character development or hinder or challenge you. Like, it's just, to me, I don't really understand the critiques when whole thing, like the reason why she's hyper focusing on creating music is to help Mafuyu. Like, it's been very clear that her wanting to help Mafuyu is a big catalyst in her making music. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out, but now let's take a look at the Unreliable Notes event and cards. So let's take a look at the event synopsis so we can actually get an idea of what this event is about. So the event summary reads, in order to create a song that can save Mafuyu, Kanade decided to dig deeper into the origin of the warmth that Mafuyu feels. After finding out that it has something to do with Mafuyu's memory of her mother, Kanade immediately tries to write a song based on those memories. And that's where the summary ends. So before we look into the cards, let's look at the event logo, because it looks very reminiscent of another Kanade event. And user Boss Gobo, who is a Japanese Project Sekai content creator on Twitter, I love his tweets, and he does a lot of card analysis over on his Twitter. He pointed out how similar these two logos are, which we have seen them actually go back and like make reference to past event logos. We saw this with Toya's event actually. So it's been really interesting to see how the Project Sekai team has done these like callbacks, like visual callbacks to earlier focus events, especially when the event itself kind of makes reference to the first focus event and almost just completes the circle. And with its synopsis, we do know that Mafuyu's mom is also going to be making an appearance in this video. She plays a role in this event. So yeah, it's kind of like a full circle moment in a way. So let's begin by looking at Kanade's untrained card. And we're back in her room. This is a familiar place that has been interpreted by the artist a few times already, but this time around, it looks visually different. Not only do we see a lot more chaos in the room, there's papers and booklets all over, even on the floor. There's crumpled up paper. I feel like this is the first time that we've seen Kanade lose control of the environment that she feels so comfortable in. In the past, we've seen her look calm, serene, focused, maybe sometimes looking like she's in a trance because she's so hyper focused on her music. And we've also seen her look a little bit more down, like in her NF5 card. But this is the first time where I feel like she is losing control of her own environment. Even just zooming into her face, this is the first time that I've seen Kanade show this face. This is a face of desperation. And the way this whole card is framed paints a picture that this is someone who has been working day and night non-stop in order to find that warmth feeling that Mafuyu is desperately craving for. So probably not the best scenario, especially for someone's health, not only physical health as well as mental health. So I'm personally concerned for Kanade just by looking at this untrained card. And here we have the trained artwork, which is honestly hauntingly beautiful. It's a bit unsettling, I'm not gonna lie. The post-apocalyptic vibes that this is giving me, especially being set in Phoenix Wonderland, but seeing it looking so desolate, it's just giving me the idea that Kanade's world is like burning down in her head. Also, the fact that Kanade is holding on to a purple balloon and looking so sad, also it feels like she's clinging on to any sort of item that will remind her of Mafuyu. This card is giving me horror vibes, from the bright red amber sky to how desolate Phoenix Wonderland looks, and then the fact that Kanade is the only person there. Yeah, it's giving me horror vibes, but I want to turn my attention to the outfit because, as we know, the Project Sekai team, they put a lot of thought into every single detail, including the outfits. So this was tweeted by the Project Sekai English account. So the little fact is that Kanade, Mafuyu, and Enna's costumes, all their names and motifs are based on the scientific names of different insects. And you know there's actual symbolism when they get paired with a specific insect. So in this case, Kanade's outfit was named after the scientific name for the carpenter bee. And carpenter bees are a type of solitary bees that, instead of building hives like honeybees do, carpenter bees just basically excavate to make a tunnel. Also, like I did mention previously, these bees are solitary in nature. They're not like honeybees. Honeybees like to collectively work together to make the hive. Carpenter bees just like to work alone, and they bear the responsibility for all the tasks in their little tunnel, which honestly, now thinking about it, that's pretty much what Kanade does. She likes to work on her own in her studio, and she bears a lot of responsibility for making music and also taking care of Mafuyu as well. So I can see why she would get paired with the carpenter bee. It makes so much sense. Now let's take a look at Mafuyu's untrained card. Here we have Mafuyu in Kanade's kitchen trying to cook, but this environment looks completely different due to the lighting and also Mafuyu's facial expression and body language. The overall feeling of this kitchen is somber, it is cold, it is bleak, it is definitely a lot more sad than what we have seen in the past from this kitchen. So we've seen this before. We've seen Kanade cook with Len, and it looked a lot happier and more optimistic. You see how bright the light looks, and Kanade's facial expression is also a lot more calm and serene as well in this situation. And we've also seen Honami in the same kitchen, and this is probably the brightest this kitchen has ever looked, and we do know that Honami feels very comfortable in this role. So this just looks like a very warm and inviting and happy kitchen, the complete opposite of the Mafuyu card. So if this is the untrained card for Mafuyu, let's take a look at the trained artwork, which is equally as somber. This is also very unsettling to look at in a beautiful way, but still it's just I know we have seen very dark cards in the past, especially for Night Court. I mean, we saw it with the Mizu 5 cards, but this one in particular is just, I don't know, like, I feel like good art always evokes emotion, and this one is evoking emotion from me, but I just do not know where to focus. So I'm gonna start with the bottom of the card. It kind of just looks like a void that is trying to suck up Mafuyu, and also a red apple. And the red apple has been a motif that we have seen in other Mafuyu cards in the past, and we do know from literature as well as history and religion as well that the red apple has stood for things such as love, passion, temptation in the story of Adam and Eve, and sometimes it is basically seen as the forbidden fruit. I think in the case of Mafuyu, I can interpret the red apple to symbolize her passion to follow her own dreams, and in this case, it getting sucked could symbolize how she feels when her parents are trying to be dismissive about her own dreams, or even her mental health. Maybe that is what is hindering Mafuyu to move forward and follow her dreams. I could also see the red apple being interpreted from the perspective of Mafuyu's mom. Mafuyu is the apple of her eye, and I can see maybe her mom interpreting the red apple as Mafuyu being tempted to do something that is against like her wishes, but also that's her daughter and she cares about her daughter in her own way. Is it the correct way? That is debatable. I do feel like I'm not a parent myself. I used to be a teenager just like Mafuyu that had very unrealistic expectations and pressures by my parents, so that's how I personally relate to Mafuyu and Toya a lot, but things have improved and I feel like their relationship with their parents can also improve. I can say now my relationship with my parents as an adult very different to what it was when I was a teenager. So personally, I can see the red apple motif being interpreted differently as it relates to Mafuyu and also as it relates to Mafuyu's mother. I think both of them could definitely coexist in this scenario. Now, if we move our eyes upwards, we see that Mafuyu is sitting on what looks to be a diamond. And diamonds have always symbolized love, commitment, strength, and enduring beauty. Also, diamonds are known to be perfect as well. And I think by now a lot of us have heard the phrase, a diamond is forever. And I feel the way, my personal way of interpreting Mafuyu sitting on the diamond is her sitting on the object that would represent her commitment to Night Court and her passion. And from her body language, I'm not sure if she fully wants to remain committed in this musical relationship. I just sense a lot of uncertainty and doubt, especially with the way the card looks like and the fact that we have pretty much half of the card in black or white. I think it's very indicative of Mafuyu's current mental health, that she feels so hopeless, like every part of her life has lost color and life. So I am a little worried about the next Mafuyu focus, I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like this is definitely not the last that we'll ever see Mafuyu in this particular situation. Now let's look at Mafuyu's outfit, because just like Kanade, her outfit also has a lot of symbolism. So the scientific name for a domestic silk moth is the name of her outfit. And the fact that that's the name is very interesting considering Mafuyu's current situation. So domestic silk moths is a species of moths that is selectively bred by humans for silk production. So they're entirely dependent on humans for survival. And I feel like that is the interesting part, because we have seen from recent events that Mafuyu is pretty dependent on Kanade. So in this case, it's just very interesting to have Mafuyu be portrayed by the moth species that is highly dependent on humans in order to survive, because by themselves they just have no survival instincts. So what are your thoughts about this card? Let me know in the comments. I feel like this one will definitely spark a lot of conversations and different interpretations as well, so feel free to voice your interpretation in the comments. And the last 4-star card belongs to Enna, and here we have Enna just looking very worried for Kanade. Look at her, she was so prepared. She has water, she has food and beverages, just trying to help Kanade out. I kind of do feel like Kanade is kind of downplaying the fact that she has been working a little too hard, but thankfully she does have people like Enna that truly do care about Kanade's well-being and just want to help out. I also sense just a little bit more warmth in the background, like just looks a lot more warm and inviting and more like reinvigorated with Enna's presence. So overall, I feel like we all needed just a little bit of warmth in this particular card set. And here we have her trained artwork, which once again, I feel unsettled just looking at it. Like, it also looks very post-apocalyptic. It looks very haunting. I sense a lot of chaos as well. I mean, the fact that the background looks like it's on fire is unsettling to see. I also do kind of, the colors that stand out a lot in this image are the purple and kind of that reddish color, which to me just look a lot like the colors that represent Kanade and Mafuyu. So it kind of seems like they're both clashing in this instance. And if we look at Enna herself, her body language, she looks not so happy. I know some people mention that she's the only one smiling, but that smile is not a very happy smile. She just kind of looks like she's accepting defeat, in my opinion. Now, if we can turn our attention to her outfit, you will notice that Enna's outfit again has butterfly motifs. This is not the first time we've seen it. In fact, butterflies were very much present in her last focus event, including on her outfit. But this time around, the butterfly that is represented by Enna is the swallowtail butterfly. These butterflies symbolize transformation, freedom, and the soul's journey. This type of butterfly is known for their ability to fly and the way they fly too, because of their wing shape. So they're known to fly and move freely, and that's why a lot of people associate this particular butterfly with a sense of liberation or escaping from their limitations. Also, this particular butterfly has actually been a motif that's been in a lot of art and literature because they represent the human soul and their journey. So I feel like in this case, it might be Enna wishing that Mafuyu and Kanade would both enter this transformation for themselves into becoming the woman, or the young woman actually, that they truly want to be. That's my interpretation of it, at least. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But now we're moving on to the 3-star card, which belongs to Rin. And Rin looks extremely worried. And judging by the background, Rin is in Kanade's room. And also by the angle of it, she's looking down at the floor, which does worry me because if you pair the angle, Rin's very distraught face, the dark lighting, and Kanade's card too, we know that she was overworking herself. So my instant thought is that Kanade most likely passed out. Now, I don't know if that actually happens in the story because, like I mentioned in the beginning, I haven't read the story yet, but I mean, the fact that we have Rin looking down is definitely a sign for concern, definitely. And here we have Rin's trained artwork, which is a beautiful 3-star card. The first thing that comes to mind is an old music box. Like, she looks like the ballerinas or the dancers in the music box. It's just, again, very hauntingly beautiful. And we have Rin dancing in front of the carousel, which again has that really warm, like somber lighting. It almost looks like the carousel again is on fire, and Rin is surrounded by all of these balloons, and I do spot a lot of the night court colors in the balloons. So I'm interpreting this as Rin actually
feeling a little hopeless in the situation. Like she wants to actually help Night Court, but she just doesn't really know how to. I will point out that this particular reading card has been the first time that we've seen her show a lot of emotion and not shut herself off from other people like we have even in the most recent Night Court reading card, where she physically almost like closed the egg to like isolate herself. In this card, we have Rin in the middle of all of these balloons representing Night Court. So she is inviting herself to be surrounded by them, and she does look like she wants to help. She just doesn't really know how to. And the 2-star card belongs to Mizuki, whose outfit looks a lot like the swallowtail butterfly. Like, to the T, even the colors are the swallowtail butterfly. And we do know that both Mizuki and Enna have been tied to these butterfly motifs. They were both wearing them in Enna 5. So I feel like even in this 2-star card, we know that both Enna as well as Mizuki have undergone this transformation to liberate themselves and kind of be more true to themselves. It's just Mafuyu and Kanade that still need to undergo their own personal transformations. I do love the outfit. I think Mizuki looks adorable, and this is, I think, one of the few times where I feel like the 2-star card has a lot of symbolism just like the rest of the cards. And here we have the complete card set, and just seeing all of the cards displayed together, oh, it gives me like goosebumps. Like all of them are so hauntingly beautiful in their own way, but it definitely just, it's a reminder that Night Court's story still has a lot of obstacles on the way. If I had to choose a favorite card from this set, I have to say I really like the Ring card as well as Kanade's card a lot, but Mafuyu's card, I feel like I could write a whole essay about it. Like there is just so much going on in that card. It's just, I feel like, I know I've been praising the like colorful palette artists a lot, but I feel like they've really honed in to their artistry, and the fact that their artwork in a gacha rhythm game is actually evoking so much emotion and discussion is a true testament to how talented the artists are. So let me know your thoughts on this card set in the comments, and if you're pulling, I wish you the best of luck. I hope that you get the card that you want, and I will be ending the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye bye!